welcome back to another edition of Inwarp Mag. It has been way too long. I am Brooke, joined as always by my co-host Drew.
Yeah, it's good to be back, everybody. Since we've been gone, I've figured out that really loud, annoying fan on my case that you can all hear in our previous videos, and my setup's a lot quieter now. It's better for recording.
Yeah, thank God you don't hear that whine anymore.
Yeah, I think everybody can be happy for that. So, if you really want to know what it was my power supply. So put an F in the comments for my power supply. I got a new one, courtesy of
Yeah,
Brooke.
rip that power supply, but you got a new one.
Yep, it was
So,
good 15 years ago.
So, we last talked to you guys before we went to Adepticon, and there was some exciting things that happened at Adepticon, in particular for me.
Yeah, I think I have a video that basically encapsulates how you were feeling at Adepticon. It was a very exciting time.
I think I literally did that at the reveal show. I think I literally did that.
I don't think you could have sustained a scream as long as that guy did, but yeah, you were pretty pumped as soon as they announced the new models for Space Wolves being released and the upcoming Codex.
Yeah, they announced during the announcement trailer at Adepticon. It doesn't show this in the trailer on YouTube, but when it goes to like the black of space, there was a howl, and I went crazy. I started yelling, and I almost passed out.
Oh, yelled like that guy. Stood up in his seat, shoulders
so
back.
Who knows? Maybe I am that guy.
Yeah, maybe. That's Brooke. It was a good time, but I think one thing worth highlighting from Adepticon was like the fallout from that Adepticon preview show. The fact that people were so annoyed and disappointed that the preview show included Space Wolves because it was the year of chaos. How dare they?
Yeah, it was like people were so salty that Space Wolves were getting a big rework, and like, oh, Grey Knights weren't, and oh, I thought this was the year of chaos, so we're gonna get all these new chaos models, and it was just like the one model for each of the like Death Guard and World Eaters and Thousand Sons. There was like, well, Thousand Sons got that they got those like dreadnought, like
those
robot
ugly
things.
Robots that can't bend their knees.
Yeah. They're really stiff looking robots.
I really wanted to like those robots. I just wasn't
they
a big
sick
fan.
At first,
There was
and then they showed them with everything else. Yeah,
it's like uncanny valley type thing going on.
They're like a little too tall, a little too lanky. I don't know. They're cool, but whatever. They're unique. Maybe they'll grow on us over time.
Yeah, they'll be beloved one day, maybe.
But the fact that like people were dogging, pun intended, on Space Wolves, I was kind of taken aback a little bit as a Space Wolves player. I was like, man, like I'm always excited for everybody else this 10th edition when they've gotten their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm finally getting my stuff, I feel like everybody's hating on the Space Wolves. And there were some people that were legitimately excited, but there was I heard a lot of people talking about like, oh, I thought this was your chaos and all that stuff. And
well, I can say there's things I'm hating on just because I have to play Space Wolves, and that's just a different story. But either way, I think one of the themes of our show has been that just like coming from other games where there wasn't a whole lot to celebrate, and it just seems like Warhammer is such a more active game that when we have new stuff coming out, that it should be celebrated rather than like poo-pooed all the time. It gets really old when people get mad about something new, and it's like, guys, let's be happy that they're actually being proactive about the game and trying to make it good.
Right. Yeah, it's very active. They're constantly coming out with new things. They're reworking kits that absolutely needed reworked in my codex specifically, in other codexes too. And they're gonna get to these other armies that are in need too. But like, well, I was so excited to actually get good models for my main Space Wolves units.
And some of our codexes have been out for a while now, and we've we've hit reality with our codex where we just realize that there's like one viable detachment in our codex, much like this. Here, let me play this.
You think I have a choice? There is no fucking choice.
Yeah, so like for orcs, for instance, like our stuff, every time we get something else that's good, like we got the more DACA detachment, people just got so salty about it. And that was another one of the things where like, let's be happy.
At Adepticon.
Yeah, at Adepticon, we had people walking up to us and just like telling us how salty they were about that new detachment and telling us how they wanted them to nerf it to hell. And we were just kind of like, we were like, yeah, it needs nerfed, but not that hard. And they nerfed it as hard as like some of the worst things we heard at Adepticon, which was really disappointing. So like for Orcs players, we're stuck playing Warhorde still, or there's some other stuff too. I think Cult of Speed actually has some time in the spotlight because our Def Coptas are so
nothing
cheap.
else. Nothing else is good.
Yeah, that's basically it, really. So it's a little disappointing. Like I'm looking forward to the next balance data slate. Sadly, that's not a fun state to be in. So like, I don't know. It's just a reality of this game I've accepted at this point.
Ebbs and flows.
Yeah, like you better play when your army is on top, because next quarter they're gonna get kicked in the nuts. So
the one thing I read, and I can't take credit for this comment, but I think it's so true, is everybody likes to play with the orc player, but they don't like to play the orc player when the orc player has a good army.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they all enjoy playing against the orc. Exactly. They want the orc player to be bubbly and fun and have a good time and roll dice and laugh. But if they're rolling dice laughing at your demise, then they hate them.
They're like, I like having a fun time with you, but only when I win.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's everybody in a nutshell. Everybody wants to win and have a good time while they're playing. But, you know, sometimes we get a new detachment that just blasts people off the board and has Zodgrod on a hover scooter flying around the board, and then they get rid of it. Because
they got rid of everything.
Yeah, they got rid of it all.
They got rid of your ability to shoot things off the board, and for Zodgrod to have a hover scooter around the whole board. Like, eliminated pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. But,
well, this is the Space Wolves Codex review, so maybe we should get on to the Space Wolves Codex review. I mean,
yeah. So
the Adepticon thing was sick, and we kind of, we can talk more about that later if you guys want to hear more about our Adepticon experience, but that was just kind of some takeaways, like hearing some of the community, like as we're playing our game, because it's Space Wolves against orcs, and then people would come up to us and be like, orc more DACA, and it's like, okay, like,
yeah,
whatever. But
like, yeah, just parrot whatever you read on the internet. I'll listen to you and I'll nod my head and be kind, but I will silently disagree with you.
Right.
I don't know. It's just like, I think people who've been in the game longer are a little more jaded. So I don't know. I try to take it with a grain of salt, but I also try not to just completely write it off because I'm so new to the game. So I don't know. I just got to have a good balanced attitude when it comes to, I get something that's way overtuned and then I get kicked in the nuts. Like, just take it, wait for the next quarter. If it sucks, wait for the next quarter. It'll get better, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. And in casual settings, the pilot makes more difference than the actual list. Like, that is a truth that I've learned over the course of this 10th edition. The pilot makes the difference almost 9 times out of 10 in a casual setting.
I'll agree if you're playing like 2,000 point.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not 500 points. I don't know if I agree with that.
We could talk about that too later. If you guys want to hear about
that, might be another video.
We just started playing King of the Colosseum, and we have some thoughts on that. We'll talk about that at a later date.
Good thoughts. I think they're positive thoughts. I like it.
Yeah, positive thoughts.
But anyways,
let's get into the Space Wolves Codex review. So we're going to start at the top. So for the army overview, so for Space Wolves, we retained Oath of Moment. We have a new rule called Curse of the Wolfen. So basically, our Wolfen models, when they're within 6 inches of a friendly Space Wolves character model, they get +1 to their OC, and if they're a vehicle, they get 3 of their OC. Wow. If they're within 12 inches of a Wolf Priest model, then they have the same thing. If they're not battle shocked, they get basically they get OC if they're close to a character. It's like the character is able to keep them in check and
rally them,
tame them a little bit, enough to run objectives. Basically, is kind of the thought of that. It's nice. It's super nice that my Wolfen who have a 0 OC can now do objectives if they're close to somebody.
That's your army rule.
That is in my army rules. Yes. Okay. So I got Oath of Moment. And I got the Curse of the Wolfen. And then it lists in the book as well. It talks about sagas. So we'll get into this. Each of the detachments has a saga. So the sagas meaning you have it in effect at the very beginning of the game that you have. And if you complete a condition, you'll get additional effects. So that's basically the 3 army rules for Space Wolves.
So like your index rule, but tuned down maybe slightly?
Yeah, kind of split up a little bit, but even then, like a lot of other codexes had their index detachment kind of copied and pasted. Ours was kind of completely scrambled, so we don't really have one that matches the Champions of Russ detachment. It's said to be Saga the Bold, and we'll get into that, but it's really not Saga the Bold. It kind of is, but it isn't. We'll talk about it a little bit more. One notable change for the army, kind of as an identity thing, and they've done this a little bit for other armies. Infantry get +1 inch of movement. So like my blood claws, for example, they move 7 inches, and Terminators move 6 inches. It is incredible. Bjorn got a +1 inch to his movement.
This is the change I'm not excited about. So playing against Space Wolves when they can move an extra inch feels oppressive.
Yeah, I love it, obviously.
Well, I would too if I could move an extra inch. Everybody would love an extra inch.
Of course, yeah. Well, in Warhammer, we're talking about. Yeah. So that takes us nicely into my pros. So one of the pros is that we're fast. We are really fast now. So our Thunderwolf Cavalry, they get +2 inches to their movement from the index, so they move 12 inches now. Wolfen are moving 9 inches, and they're actually good. Your Blood Claws move 7 inches. Like, if you really want to go without transports, you kind of are able to with this army now, more so than you were before, because you can cross the table easier. We're super thematic. I really love the sagas. All of them are sweet, but they're not all super good. But they're all awesome. They all are very thematic, and I love it. I love that I can play a detachment, and I know what it's trying to have me do, and I can kind of play into that style of list. I really, really enjoy that.
More fun building.
Right. List building is actually really fun now. It's not just like I played the index forever, and I had like a set list that I played all the time, or like a set combo that I like to play all the time. But this now is making me think about things a lot differently. A lot more different. Easy for me to say. So then the other thing, another pro, we have strong data sheets, and I'll caveat that to say we have strong data sheets where it matters. There are some weak data sheets in this detachment or in this codex. There are some profiles that got worse. There's some things that are not super usable necessarily. I'm looking at you, Wolfen and Venerable Dread. They're not bad, but they're not great. But some of the things that are really good are like exceptionally good. I love Blood Claws. We'll get into it. I love Blood Claws. I like Head Takers are cool. Thunderwolf Cavalry are kind of insane. Our Terminators rule. Like, we have really strong data sheets where it matters. It's really cool. Great characters. And speaking of, we have awesome characters. Our epic heroes are epic. They are really, really strong. There's a couple exceptions in there, but our characters are all very cool. And if they're not super strong in rules, they're very thematic. So you can actually see what they're trying to go for and like what the character's trying to do, you know, like, but some of them are more usable than others. The next thing is that we have an actual army identity. So before it was kind of just like basic Space Marines painted Space Wolves gray, and now we have like an actual identity to our army. I think because we have, you know, our base battle line units, which are Bloodclaws and Grey Hunters, are now units of 10 base. You can't take units of 5, so it's not like, oh, I just have like different colored intercessors. No, I literally can. I can take intercessors, which are distinctly different than my Grey Hunters, for example, because I have to take them in 10.
Yeah.
Or I can take my Assault Intercessors in 5, or I can take my Bloodclaws, which are explicitly in 10, and they're fast. They're really fast, whereas Assault Intercessors are efficient at killing on objectives. Like, they're very distinct now, in my head at least. And then we have a lot of cool support units like Wolfen and Thunderwolf Cavalry and those types of things that make us actually have an identity. Then the last thing that I'll say for the pros is that we're balanced and we're not broken, which is, I think, great for a like balance and like one like whether GW will hit us with a nerf hammer. We're not going to, most likely. There's a few things that are like one thing I already did, but we're actually like, it feels good to play this army and do good because you know that you're actually not a busted army that's just winning off of rules. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think my favorite thing about your codex is that they didn't try to take the index and just take that and make it one of your just one of your detachments, because I think it would have been a lot harder to come up with all the detachments for Space Wolves if that had been one of the detachments. Because I remember when we were thinking back on like, oh, what are the detachments going to be like for the Space Wolves Codex? We had a hard time thinking of like, well, because we kept thinking, obviously your index is going to be one of the detachments, right? Like surely they're not going to break it up.
Right.
But the fact that they didn't just like pigeonhole your index in, because your index was really, I think your index was really
it was strong.
Good. Yeah. The fact that you could unlock so many abilities with it was really strong. But I think breaking that up into separate detachments is the biggest pro, where you have really good theme. Like orcs. I think orcs detachments have pretty good themes throughout. Even though they might not all be as good, like one detachment is going to be the king, obviously, probably. But you at least have like different themes you can play around with, that if you're playing in a casual setting, which I think probably most people play in casual settings, that you can explore the different detachments and have fun list building and be creative.
Right. The first big con that we had is we lost a ton of leader options and leader combos. So we'll get into this a little bit later when we talk about data sheets. But Ragnar and like the Space Wolves characters can't lead the generic Space Marine units. So like I used to like having Ragnar lead a 5-man assault intercessors. You can't do that anymore. Ulrich can't lead Blade Guard vets. You know, like they have to lead Space Wolves units. So there's a distinction between a led Adeptus Astartes unit and a led Space Wolves unit, because they literally cannot intermix.
That's not as big
cool.
of a deal, though, I think, because like Ragnar, for instance, is just really good. It doesn't matter who's with him. He's just really good. So all he cares about is having like 5 to 10 bodies with him, making it harder to kill him.
It's a big deal in one detachment.
Okay.
And it's not any of the detachments in this book. It's the Grotmist detachment.
Oh.
We don't have generic Terminator leaders that can get the Terminator enhancements to give to our Wolfguard Terminators anymore. We only have named Terminator characters. And since the combos don't work anymore, that detachment, the enhancements on that detachment are almost dead. You can still run them with the standard Terminators, but like that is a design oversight for that detachment specifically that the combos matter a
Wasn't
lot.
your Grotmist detachment kind of trash anyways?
Yes, I actually think it's okay now.
Really?
Yes, we'll talk about it. I actually
Okay.
think it's pretty. I actually think it's pretty decent now. I think you ignore the countercharge rule, which is the rule of the army, and you just say my Terminators get +1 OC, and then you rely on the strats of that list, and I think it's okay. I actually think it's not bad.
So you don't try to go heavy dreadnoughts.
No, and you don't go, I'm going to run a Judiciar with the thing that makes him countercharge at 6 inches, because if you have a smart opponent, you're never going to do it anyway. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
you basically just play off of that detachment's stratagems, which is where its strength really is. And its Terminators getting +1 OC where they can steal objectives. Anyways, because they can deep strike and rapid ingress and that sort of thing. So yeah, so that's a con. Like the characters, our leader combos are gone. That hurts. That kind of killed some of our. Oh, and this kind of falls into this. I actually don't even have it in my notes here. We can't use rhinos anymore. So like before, like blood claws could go on rhinos. Well, now they can't because they're modernized or whatever. Like so, rhinos in my army,
they're not
basically
Primaris sized or whatever.
Yeah, until maybe in 11th edition, they say the Rhino can transport any Space Marine, infantry, that doesn't actually make the distinction with Tacticus armor or whatever.
Rhinos can only fit people of short stature for some reason.
I don't know. It's a weird. It can fit midget Space Marines from 6th edition, but it can't fit these ones for whatever reason. Whatever. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer, but like it's nothing. It's like
that doesn't
not
affect
really
you that much. You haven't been using a Rhino.
I didn't have like 3 freaking rhinos in my backlog. Oh dang it!
They killed my army.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about one thing that they killed from me though. So then the next con is keyword confusion on datasheets and strats. So not datasheets, the detachments and stratagems. So a lot of the detachments and stratagems, they rely on you knowing which unit is a Space Wolves unit and which one is not. And some of the detachments specifically call out the benefits going to Space Wolves units, but not Adeptus Astartes units. So you have to make that's something that you didn't really have to pay attention to before. Now you do. You just it's not that hard. Like it's just something. It's like bookkeeping that you have to do in your head to make sure you're not giving something the benefit that shouldn't be getting that benefit. And what your stratagem can target matters more, basically. It kind of encourages you to build within your army more. But it is what it is. The next thing, there's clearly one competitive detachment in the Codex. It's spoiler. It's Beastslayer. It's insane compared to all the other ones. And then the last one is that we kind of still rely on Adeptus Astartes units to fill in gaps, but it's probably fine. Like we need intercessors too sticky, and we need scouts to go uppy downy and do objectives. Like that stuff is still.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I think some of your normal Adeptus Astartes units are so good that they're just kind of worth taking just to fill in those gaps.
And we're Space Marines, we should have access to the Space Marine armory and get things like Gladiator tanks. Those things should probably fill out our backline, right? Like that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But it matters when you're trying to target stuff.
I don't see that as like a con so much because that's kind of how orcs go in a way with a lot of our detachments, where it's like the cult of speed is only the speed freaks, and there's not many speed freaks.
Yeah. It's only a con if you want to build like the most thematic Space Wolves list, but like it's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean you could always fall back to running Adeptus Astartes Codex if you really wanted to.
It is true. and we'll talk about that too. And actually, I think that's another one of my cons is that the Adeptus Astartes Codex is still, some of those detachments are still kind of great. Yeah. Like Gladius is still good and maybe better than the other ones.
Well, I mean, it's like a con for your codex, but I mean that's a pro for Space Marine players that you have good detachments in your codex.
Yeah. It is a pro that we have a ton of options. We're spoiled for options, especially Space Wolves. We're spoiled for options. Dark Angels have gotten better recently, but and same with Blood Angels, but you couldn't say that about Dark Angels for a while. They were just running Gladius.
Let's just say it's overall a pro because maybe you have a Space Marines player who starts with the Adeptus Astartes Codex and they become Space Wolves curious and they start dabbling in Space Wolves themes and painting their.
I like that tail there, boy.
Yeah, they like they like some tail. And then maybe they get into Space Wolves because they were able to, run just generic Adeptus Astartes and paint their army however they wanted. And then they're like, you know what? I'm going to buy the Space Wolves Codex. So the fact that you can run the Space Wolves units still run them in Adeptus Astartes Codex in Gladius and be good is not a bad thing. I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Spoiled for choice. We are definitely spoiled. I acknowledge that.
I wish I had a second codex.
I know.
The Xenos Codex.
They honestly kind of think they should give you guys more. I mean, we only get 3 detachments in my book. You got what, 6 or whatever it was? So
yeah, I got
not all of factions, but
I got 6 and maybe a few.
2 of them more playable.
I mean, you could play them casual, like we keep saying, but you gotta set ground rules when you're gonna do that. You're like, hey, I'm gonna be playing a really crappy detachment, so make sure you play something crappy too.
Yeah, don't go super try hard on me, please.
All right.
So the next thing I want to touch on, we'll touch on it real quick, but it's the gone but not forgotten data sheets from the index, things that we lost and things that I'll be sad to see go. Not all of them I'm sad to go, but some of them I am sad to see them go. The big one is that our Thunderwolf Cavalry characters are no longer with us. RIP the Wolf Lord, RIP the Wolfguard Battle Leader on Thunderwolf. They are gone forever. See you later. They are just now Thunderwolf Cavalry guys among the rest of your army. So if you had them, they're not useless. They just are now Thunderwolf Cavalry units, basically.
I mean, that's not horrible. That's kind of what happened with my knob on Smash a Squig. He used to be a character like the Thunderwolf Cavalry leader, but now he's just he's a knob that's in the Squig Hog Boys unit. So
okay, yeah, maybe I should have seen that coming then.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. They kind of telegraphed that move.
Yeah, it's fine. I really like the Wolf Lord. If you guys ever talk to Bear and Bill, friends of the podcast, about my Wolf Lord, they'll tell you that he was a menace. So they're probably happy to see him go. But I was sad to see him go because I really liked him running with Black Death and then or something like that, or the Precision Frost Blade or whatever it was. And precision punching characters to death. It was insane.
What are some other data sheets that you wish they did not get rid of?
So I built a lot of Long Fangs that are now gone forever. So
can you proxy them as Devastator? Something else? Okay.
Yeah, they're Devastator squad now, which is fine. But I was like, yeah, Long Fangs, they're sick. They have all these really big weapons, and my Long Fangs get to be a little bit different than the Devastator squad. And then they're like, nah, see you later. You don't get that. And I was like, oh, okay. And the other one I would say is Logan on Storm Rider. Santa Claus is no longer with us. He's not real.
Sorry, children.
GW has confirmed it. I have that model and I magnetized it and I was getting ready to paint it. And then they were announcing the Space Wolves were coming out, and I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to paint this Because if it's gone, I'll be freaking ticked off that I spent all the time painting it, and it's gone. So,
yeah, good thing you didn't.
oh well, it is what it is. New Logan rules, so that's like that's a net neutral, net positive. Honestly, Logan rules. Then quick touch on the other data sheets that are gone. The Hodgepodge, Wolfguard, Terminator, and Wolfguard, whatever. All the little Wolfguard characters from the index. See you later. They're all wrapped up into one now.
Bet you're really torn up about the Cyberwolf.
Oh, the Cyberwolf. I actually had that model, and now he's a head taker hunting wolf.
There you go.
He's a mechanical hunting wolf.
He's a cyberpunk themed head taker wolf.
He's got a cyberpunk haircut. He's got a mohawk.
Yeah.
No. The Space Wolves airplane is gone. It's called like the Stormfang, I think. It's gone. See you later. I almost bought it. Thank God I didn't.
Yeah.
Skyclaws, which are the Jump Intercessor Space Wolves, they're gone. Wolf Scouts are just Scouts. Hounds of Morkai, which are one of the more recent boxes, are special Reavers. See you never. They're gone forever. So they're just Reavers now with like special like parts that you can get in that box if you do find a Hounds of Morkai box. I own one. Well, it's not just Reavers, so whatever, it's fine.
All right, well let's focus on not the dead, and let's focus on what you have still.
Okay. Also, Crom and Lucas. See ya. Never. Bye. I never saw you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So let's go on to the data sheets.
If you were a longtime Space Wolves player and we just spit on the grave of something you loved, we're sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Lucas is now in a grave. Maybe he'll come back later. I doubt it.
All right. Shall I bring up the slideshow of detachments?
Yeah. Why don't you bring up our slideshow? And we'll get started on going through the new data sheets for Space Wolves. And then after this, we're going to talk about the detachments. So we'll get there. But we're going to talk about all the new data sheets because there's a lot.
All right.
Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready. I'm on the first page.
All right. So we have Logan Grimnar. And Logan rules. His new model is so badass. It's so good. He rules. As I said, he's got an awesome melee weapon. He is Gilliman sized. Like he's huge now. He's in Terminator armor, so he's got Terminator toughness. He's got an invul and a 4-up. His special abilities, so he gets Bjorn's index ability of being a Vect, which is like within 12 inches of him. If your opponent uses a CP that target or a stratagem that uses that targets a easy for me to say. Let me start over. If your opponent uses a stratagem that targets a unit that is within 12 inches of Logan, it increases the cost of that stratagem by 1 CP.
Okay.
So that's called a Vectora. He gets that Vectora now, and he also gets an ability where Space Wolves units that are in strategic reserves can come onto the battlefield on your movement phase 1 round earlier than normal. So you could deep strike Terminators on turn 1 during your movement phase. Like
kind of fits with the Space Wolves are fast army theme.
And notably, you can't rapid ingress them on turn 1, which is, I think that's completely fine. That would be broken if you could.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's really good, super utility, really, really strong. We'll go to the next page now.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, go ahead.
So we got Njal, Stormcaller.
Njal.
He's out of his Terminator armor, and he's back into Tacticus armor. He's got a 4-up invuln. He's got Tacticus armor, so he's T4. So he's fine. He's got like a super, super toned down ability to say subtract 6 from the range characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in the unit that he shot with his lightning, and they can only go to a minimum of 12 inches. So it's like, okay, it's like fine.
I kind of was more enticed by him when he was in the index because I kept looking at his data sheet when you were building stuff. I'm like, I like this Njal guy. I'm like, you should build something with him in it, but this is a lot less. This is underwhelming, I would say, from the index.
The strong part of his data sheet and it's strong in very unique circumstances. Basically, he gives the unit that he's leading, which he can lead Blood Claws, Grey Hunters, and Wolfguard Head Takers. He gives them an auto 6 advance, and then he gives them assault too. So they can. You could basically. So Blood Claws will get there. They can advance and charge. He could give a Blood Claws unit a 13-inch move. They can shoot and charge from there.
His melee weapon's nothing to sniff at, though. 4 attack, 3 up, strength 7, AP -1, damage D3. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that'll hurt.
It's not bad. He's a delivery system. He's kind of like a transport. That's kind of how I view him. He gets you places that you need to.
That D3 damage, though, if you get some wounds, that could spike pretty hard.
Yeah, it definitely could. He's kind of good on Grey Hunters too, because they have decent weapons. So if they can move 13 inches, maybe get to a point because they have OC3, we'll get there. Giving them assault weapons, they're also pretty strong. So he's like a good candidate as like a utility piece if you want him to kind of act like for you,
Zodgrod.
Zodgrod, you have to like run your Blood Claws forward. He can do that too.
I wish I could run Zodgrod on like 3 different units other than Grots. That'd be great.
I mean, he could do it with I think the weak one for him is the Head Takers. Like he can run them forward and they get assault, and you're like, okay, and you have to be running. So in Saga the Bold, you can give them advanced charge. That's probably where he's good with them. But other than that, no, don't take him on Head Takers. Let's go to Ulrich now.
All right,
same page.
Yep. I got him.
So Ulrich, in Tacticus armor, he is very lackluster, I would say, in this codex. He sounds awesome, but he's like, you have to play him perfectly to get his full benefit. Basically, he says, I'm going to choose character, monster, vehicle, and then if his unit destroys a unit in his oath keyword, if your detachment rule has a saga until the end of the battle, this model's unit receives the benefits of the detachment rule as if that saga has been completed. So if you choose monster and I'm in Saga the Beastslayer and I go and hit a monster and kill it, then now I get the full. I get lethal hits against everything now. I get the completed version of Beastslayer for that unit. It's fine. It's whatever. That's like not the good benefit, honestly. That one is like I can complete my saga early with this one unit. But his other one is that while he's leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. If that attack targets a unit that has the model's Slayer Oath keyword, add 1 to the wound roll, which is good. That's pretty good. But
kind of telegraphs what you're doing when you put him on the board. If he's lined up across from a vehicle, we're like, oh, I wonder what he's doing.
And if you put him his Slayer Oath thing happens at the start of the battle. So like you could deploy him and then wait to see what your opponent deploys. And then when the battle starts, you say, I'll choose character, or I choose monster, or whatever is relevant for the situation. And then he's kind of a missile that you basically just told your opponent, I'm going to kill your character that's across from me. And then they'll go, oh, I'll just run my character to the other side of the battlefield. Yeah. It's like, so he's fine. He's kind of a missile. He's good in head takers, I would say. Most good in head takers. He's pretty good also, I will say. He's pretty good in Blood Claws and Grey Hunters because he gets that +1 to hit naturally. And with their 1 billion attacks, that's going to translate pretty well. He's fine. He's decent, but I don't know. There's better options. Next page.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, so we got Bjorn, and Bjorn is back in town, and he kind of rules still, which is great because I love Bjorn. And
Bjorn is back in town. Bjorn is back in town.
I was kind of okay that he didn't get a new model because I just painted his model, and I love the paint job I have on my model. Anyways, so he lost some weapon options. Now he basically has to run the Hellfrost cannon if you want him to be good. Otherwise, you run the other options.
Does it mean that I like this data sheet better because he lost that some of his
half damage?
Yes.
It is mean to me because I liked the half damage.
Did his feel no pain and invuln get changed at all?
Yeah, so he had the same feel no pain in the index, but he didn't have an invuln in the index. So that's good. So he got the invuln, and then he's still tough. So he got +1 to move as well. He used to move 8, now he moves 9. But so he gets one of the best abilities in the game. He generates CP at the start of your command phase, which is amazing because he's the ancient tactician. And then the other thing he does is that each time an attack that targets this model, if its strength characteristic of the attack is greater than this model's toughness characteristic, subtract 1 to the one to the wound roll. So if you shoot him with like a las cannon that's 12 strength, you'd normally be wounding on 3s. Now you wound on 4s.
Did he lose his Vect ability?
Yes. So he just generates CP. He doesn't make your CP cost more. That's what Logan got.
Okay.
So they kind of like he gave Logan his ability, and now he generates CP. He fills a different role, I think. He likes to stand back a little bit more still, because he can get spiked off the board with like enough shots into him, because the half damage thing doesn't exist anymore.
That was annoying.
So that can kind of hurt. I can understand that it was annoying, but like a good melt shot could kill him because he's only 8 wounds.
Yeah, I mean that's how every unit is in Warhammer, but he wasn't that way. Where you're like, God dang it! Like I gotta put so many shots into this guy. You could focus your entire army into him, and he could still stand.
Yeah, yeah, and also notably, thank God, his Hellfrost cannon, the focused variant of it, got +1 to its strength because it used to be strength 9. Now it's strength 10.
So
it's
the
actually
more
usable
thematic thing is good.
Yeah, because you used to shoot like a ballistus and be sad because you'd be wounded on 5s. Now you wound on 4s.
Yeah.
So it's good.
That's good.
Yeah. You want to use that weapon anyway, because who doesn't want to use the Hellfrost cannon as opposed to a las cannon? Like Hellfrost cannon sounds awesome. It sounds sweet. So you want to use that.
Well, as an opponent of Bjorn, I like him better because I'd want to hug him.
Down a little bit.
I'd hug him more than the old model or the old data sheet.
Yeah, he doesn't like to get hugged as much. He likes to stay back. That's kind of where, because you want him to generate you CP. He's definitely a backline character, second wave type of character, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Ragnar. Same page.
Yep, I got it.
So Ragnar is just as spicy as he was in the index. So +1 movement is insane. When he leads Blood Claws, they get to reroll the wound roll on their melee attack. And then if he leads Head Takers, he gives them advance in charge. And then he maintains his ability that when he completes a charge, he gets +2 to his attacks on his melee weapon.
That's all that matters. I think. Go ahead.
But he does not get +2 to his strength. So his strength doesn't get changed. It got toned down a little bit, but he still gets the +2 to the attacks.
That's so good. And if you're running him in one of the detachments that gets sustained hits, that's really good.
Yes. Yeah.
I think he's still amazing, even with like the slight nerfs.
He is amazing. He's an auto include in every one of my lists. It's Ragnar with Blood Claws in every one of my lists. I think he's especially good with them because of the reroll wound roll. His +2, not getting the +2 strength to his strength, easy for me to say, because he doesn't get that. When he leads Blood Claws, that reroll wound roll makes it basically nothing. It's a net positive because it gets to reroll all those wound rolls.
Yeah, I still like him. I know you're saying you don't need to take vehicles. I still like the idea of him in a Land Raider and being able to just put him right in somebody's face.
Yeah, he's still awesome out of a Land Raider, and he's particularly awesome out of a Land Raider if you can fit him and something else in there. Like if you do 10 Blood Claws with him and then 3 Head Takers with another character, it's kind of scary. We'll go to the next page though. Ragnar is an auto include. Take him. He's so good.
Go ahead. I got the next one up.
All right, so we got Arjak. He is... I didn't know anything about him in the index, I'll be honest. But he rules. He basically gives the models in his unit a fight on death, which is super good. And then he particularly takes out characters really well. He has precision, and he takes out characters by re-rolling the hit roll and re-rolling the wound roll. So pretty good. I like him a lot. We'll go to the next one, which is same page. It is the Wolf Priest.
Not much to say about Arjak.
Arjak, he's awesome. I mean, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on all of this, but he's really good. Put him with Wolfguard Terminators. He rules. He can lead that. He's probably the best leader for them, even though Logan can lead them too. He's the best leader for them because of the fight on death and the rerolls into characters. So,
all right, Wolf Priest.
Yeah, so Wolf Priest, I expected him to be better. After reading his data sheet initially, I was like, man, he's so good. He is good, but I think he's situationally good. He's not my first pick as a leader unless I'm going for something specific. So he basically can revive a model during the command phase for the unit that he's leading, and then he gets to add 1 to the wound roll in melee. He's particularly good with head takers with shields because they're 3 wound models with a 4-up invuln. And if he brings one of those back, it's really, really valuable, basically. Other things, he's fine. I put him with Grey Hunters one time as like an objective unit. And if you just park them on an objective and tell your opponent, okay, come hit me, they're kind of a utility, like jack of all trades unit. They could go into a vehicle with chainswords wounding on 5s.
How many points is he?
70.
It's not bad. He's kind of like a war boss.
Yeah, he's good. I like him a lot. He's only outshined by another character that we're getting to. We'll go to the next page.
All right. Go ahead.
So we have the Iron Priest, and when he came out, he was busted AF. He was ridiculous. He gave rapid fire to a vehicle next to him. Rapid fire 1 to a vehicle next to him. So he had a Predator that had 1 million las gun shots. I played this against Bill and actually got to use that rule with its las guns, and it just deleted a Dorn. It was insane. It was so strong. And that wasn't even with like a great roll. It was just like, oh, it's dead.
Did you go, I should not use this combo again?
I was like, I looked at him and I was like, oh, I didn't realize how strong that was going to be. I didn't expect it to kill it in one shot, but yeah, it was crazy. It got toned down now. Basically, you choose one weapon, it gets rapid fire 1.
Okay.
So it's good with like a Gladiator Lancer with its main weapon, giving it +1 to its shots when it's a strength 14. I think it's D6 +3 damage. Like, that's really good. But situationally, good. Not as good as he used to be, but he's pretty decent. We'll go to the next page.
All right. Go ahead.
Now, this is my favorite character of the whole codex. He rules. It's the Wolfguard Battle Leader. He is freaking awesome. So if you aren't doing this, load him out with a Thunder Hammer and a shield, and then that's all you need. You just do that with all of yours. He gives sustained hits 1 to his unit that he's leading, and if you're targeting an enemy unit within 6 inches in shooting or melee, you can reroll the hit roll of 1. Which is insane. It's so good. That's the Blade Guard vet rule, but at 6 inches instead of in melee only.
Okay, that's really good.
And sustained hits 1. And then, if you decide that you want to fight his unit and you want to kill him, he's got to fight on death on a 2+.
He's one of the new minis you got, right?
Yep.
It's pretty sweet looking.
Yeah, he is awesome. And if you put him in there with a storm shield, he's got 6 wounds.
Ugh.
He's so good.
How many points is he?
65.
What? I'd take 3 of them.
I take 2 of them.
That is broken. Yeah, that's gonna get nerfed.
He'll probably go up in points a little bit, but
he
is so good. I love him.
A war boss is more points than that, Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a war boss, but like cheaper.
More bossy. And cheaper.
With a fight on death.
And
sustain hits 1. And a reroll 1.
What?
Yeah, he's insane.
Heck? They're just trying to sell models with that right now.
I mean, I'm
that's
okay with it for now.
Yeah, but I'd be okay with it too if I bought one or two.
So one of the combos with him to try if you're looking for combos, run him with head takers that have run him with the head takers with paired weapons, because they get 6 attacks instead of 4, and the sustained 1 and reroll in 1s. It's just extremely strong. You typically run them out of a transport to do that, or you run him with like literally anything else. And if you have a billion chainsword attacks and you have sustained 1 and reroll in 1s, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of hits. He's really good. Take him with whatever you want. He's really good. We'll go to the next page.
All right. Blood Claws.
Blood Claws rule. I love my Blood Claws now. Even though you have to take them in 10s, which I know people don't like, but you have to take them in at least 10. You can take up to 20 of them. They have advanced charge. They have chainswords and bolt pistols, and then one guy can take a plasma pistol and a power weapon. Yeah, that's it. They're really fast. They have OC2 because they're battle line. They're just Space Marine toughness. They move 7, advanced charge. They do what they want to do. They get into your opponent's face and clog them up, and you roll buckets of dice when you attack them. I love them. You put Ragnar with them, and they're awesome. They sing. We'll go to the Grey Hunters, which is on the same page.
Go ahead.
So yeah, Grey Hunters are a little priced out. So Blood Claws are 135 for 10. Grey Hunters are 180 for 10. They have bolt carbines, which have rapid fire. One of them can take a plasma pistol and a power fist. The other ones are outfit with the bolt carbine and a chainsword. The combo of a bolt carbine and a chainsword is awesome. They don't have AP on their bolt carbine, but they have a chainsword too. So they can do everything. They can shoot, they can get melee, and they have OC3. And if you shoot something that's on or hit something that's on an objective, they re-roll the wound roll. Naturally, they re-roll wound rolls of 1. If you attack something on an objective, they re-roll all the wound rolls. They are jack of all trades. They can do everything. They're a skirmish unit, but they're just expensive. That's the only drawback on them. We'll go to the next page now. Talk about the Wolfguard head takers.
I'll try to get this one to fit as best I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you can take them in 3 or 6, and then you can take a matching number of hunting wolves with them for an extra cost. So it's 3 and 3 or 6 and 6. When at the start of the game, you split the 2 units. So if you take 3 head takers and 3 hunting wolves, they split, and then you can deploy them wherever you want separately and attach units separately, and that sort of thing. You equip them with either the mastercrafted power weapon or the paired mastercrafted power weapons. And with the pair, you get +2 to your attacks, but you don't get the invuln. So it's like a risk of, do I want to have more attacks or do I want to be more survivable? And I think that depends on how you're using them. If you put them in a transport, I think paired weapons is the way. If you don't, put them with shields. And if you have them with shields, Wolf Priest is their friend. They get to choose a unit at the start of the game to be their quarry, and that unit they will get dev wounds and precision against, which is strong. It's good against that one unit. You're kind of telegraphing your what your target is with that unit. They're good on their own, and they get the most benefit by being led by like a Wolf Priest or a Wolfguard battle leader, because then they actually have rules that supplement their attacks. Otherwise, they don't really get anything that supplements their attacks. The one con is that the dev wounds and precision does not apply to their leader. So if you put like a Wolf Priest with them, the Wolf Priest doesn't get dev wounds and precision.
All right.
But the hunting wolves are strong because they can screen. All right, next page.
All right. Thunderwolf Cavalry.
They rule. Take 3 of them, or 2 sets of 3. Take 2 sets of 3, 3 sets of 3. Take them. They're really good. They're Wolfguard weapons. They got better.
So much for nerfing them from the index.
They got faster. They got +1 to their AP and damage on their Wolfguard weapons, but their extra attacks got a little worse because their ability doesn't apply to their extra attacks now.
Okay.
Which is the +1 damage on charge. You take 2 sets of 3 or 3 sets of 3. unless you're running like Stormlance, and then you take 1 billion of them and you charge them at your opponent and you say deal with these. Same equipment, storm shields, weapons. Good luck. They are strong, but they're not broken. They're strong though. They're only 100 points for 3. That might be broken. We'll go to the next page.
I will say that's broken. We've talked about that before. I think that's a little broken, but yeah. All right, let's move on. Wolfguard Terminators.
Wolfguard Terminators, they rule. I think they're really, really cool. They're very survivable. They have the same ability as Bjorn, where if something shoots them with higher strength than their toughness, then it subtracts 1 to the wound roll. Very tanky. You equip. Typically, people have equipped them with all shields, or they'll do 3 shields, 1 guy with the assault cannon and power fist, and then 1 guy with the relic great axe, because the relic great axe is very strong. And then you get a power fist with the other guy, and then you get a little bit of shooting with the assault cannon. They're a great threat with Arjak to go character hunting. They're really good when Logan is in the army, whether they're attached or not, because they can deep strike on turn 1 during your movement. So they're very strong when Logan's in the army or when attached with like Arjak. Very good. I really like my Terminators, and also the models rule. So we'll go to the next page.
All right, Fenrisian Wolves.
They are fine. They have a reactive move when you get close to them. They're fine. We'll go to the next page. They're cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap screeners. Wolfen are good. They are good now. They were probably good in the last in the index as well. I just didn't really play them, but they're good now. There's 2 variants. There's the Wolfen that you're probably looking at right now, and then below them is the Wolfen with Storm Shields. The difference is the Wolfen with Storm Shields have a 4-up invuln, and the Wolfen, the standard Wolfen have more attacks, basically, and 1 less damage to their attack. If you want more attacks, and you don't care about their survivability, you take Wolfen.
And if you want to go Storm Shields.
And if you want the Wolfen to be survivable and kill vehicles, then you take the Wolfen with Storm Shields, because their hammers have anti-monster, anti-vehicle 3-up.
How many points are the what is the point difference between them, I guess?
So the ones without Storm Shields are 85, and the ones with Storm Shields are 100 for 5.
Wow.
They're very strong.
Great deal.
And moving 9 inches is crazy.
Yeah.
Next page. Wolfen rule. I like them.
All right, Murder Fang.
So Murder Fang is less good, and I'm very sad about it. He doesn't have his fight infinitely ability.
I think maybe people who got the bad end of that might be happy.
Yeah, he basically has like a Wolfen aura fight on death, which is cool. And then he can reroll advance and charge rolls. So he's still aggressive. He can kind of empower other Wolfen around him. He's not as good as he was, but he's still pretty cool.
Is he cheaper? Because his survivability was always an issue with him.
I don't remember what he costs, actually. He seemed to die very quickly when he took any sort of
focus fire,
concentrated fire. Yeah, I'm looking up his price as we speak.
Yeah,
Murder Fang.
I like the thought of Murder Fang in the index, but he loses the infinite fights. He's not as good. So go ahead. What were points?
He's 160 points. I think that's 10 less than the index. So
I don't know.
Fine.
I don't know. I think he'll go cheaper for you.
Yeah, he doesn't have any survivability stuff. Like, he doesn't have an invuln. He only has a 6-up feel no pain. He's one of the ones that I was sad about, because I liked him in the index because of his infinite fights shenanigans that he could possibly do.
I mean, he still hits really hard though with melee.
He does.
8 attack, strength 14. Ooh. Damage 3. Yeah. That hurts.
Strength 14 is crazy.
I mean, that stat line right there for his melee weapon is why he gets focus fired, and when he gets focus fired, he's not gonna last long.
If you want a massive distraction in your army, you take him.
Yeah, he's a good distraction Carnifex. Yeah.
We'll go to the next on the same page.
All right.
Wolfen Dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfen Dreadnought is less good. they basically have a surge move. If you shoot them, they get to run at you. D6 inches, adding 2 to the result.
Could they not find a picture of a Wolfen Dreadnought?
Apparently not. It's just a generic ass picture there. You run it with shield and axe, probably, and call it a day. So they're fine. They're just expensive compared to what they were. I think before they were 130 points, and I think in this they're like 150 or something like that, which is it makes them basically not playable.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I mean, when they were
145.
When they were cheaper in Index, we were always talking about, like, when we were playing doubles, taking them just because they were so cheap. It's like, I could take this or a Wolfen, or like, maybe take the Wolfen Dreadnought. It seems kind of
good. It was like we were always debating, like, for my army, them or like a ballistas, and I was like,
yeah,
let's take the Wolfen. You know, it was just more fun, for my Index.
Yeah, when we were trying to go with when we did the doubles game, me running my Dread army, you running yours.
Right. Yeah. You had the Dread mob and I had my Dreads, and yeah, that was fun.
Good time.
We'll go to the next page now. Wolfen Dreads, they're fine. They're almost like the surge move is cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'm just recapping the Wolfen. Like, the surge move is cute, but they're still kind of expensive. Yeah, so the Venerable Dreadnought, they give an aura, so within 6 inches they get to add 1 to the advance and charge rolls of a unit of a Space Wolves unit that's near it. So that's kind of cool. That seems like it could be kind of good. You could have Blood Claws with Niall run 14 inches instead of 13 inches, like, that seems pretty good. They can be equipped with the same things that Bjorn can. So if you don't want to run Bjorn, you could just run one of these instead, and they're a little bit cheaper. I think they're 150, or maybe they're they're cheaper, 140. They're 140 compared to the Wolfen. They're good. They're fine. They move slightly slower by 1 inch. They're fine. Yeah. They're one of the weakest data sheets, I would say.
All your Dreadnoughts seem to get a bit of a nerf into the Codex. Yeah. Kind of disappointing if you really liked the Dreadnought flavor.
Yeah. They're cool, but yeah, you can't like spam Dreadnoughts like you used to be able to. Well, that takes us nicely into the detachments. So we'll go through these a little quickly. We're running a little long in this episode.
So which one should we start with first?
So we're going to start with the Saga of the Hunter, actually. So this saga, it says, so the detachment rule to start with, what you have. Each time a model in a Space Wolves unit from your army makes a melee attack that targets an enemy unit, if that enemy unit is within engagement range of 1 or more other Adeptus Astartes units from your army, or if the attacking unit contains more models than that enemy unit, add 1 to your hit roll. If your saga is completed, add 1 to the wound roll as well.
Okay.
To complete your saga, at the start of the first battle round, your quarry tally is 0. Each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army fights, after all those attacks have been resolved, add 1 to your quarry tally for each enemy unit destroyed by those attacks, and in 2,000 points, it's 3. So you have to kill 3 units in melee to complete it.
So what does this detachment incentivize then? To me, it sounds like kind of ganging up and just beating things off the board.
Yeah, so it wants to do horde or ganging up. It's got both. This is like when they made the head takers data sheet, and they're like, you can take 3 head takers. Oh, and then you can take 3 hunting wolves. Like, well, what if they work together? This is the detachment that they were imagining. That they would both be in melee with the same unit, and they get the benefit.
Okay.
That's how they would get the benefit. Or you run 20 blood claws and you outnumber whatever you're fighting, and then you get the benefit.
Okay, I like it.
It's the weakest in my opinion.
It's probably the least fun to run too. It's like a war of attrition type list.
Yeah, it's a it feels like you have to jump through a decent amount of hoops to get your ability. It has some strong stratagems. And I'll highlight one of the enhancements. This is something I feel like you should take in this list if you can. Space Wolves model only. Models in the Bears unit have the Scouts 7 ability. So that's insane with like Blood Claws.
Mm-hmm.
You give them Scout 7, and then they can advance charge. Like that they can touch anything almost.
So what's like one of the strats that they're really trying to get you to use in this detachment?
So they they have some good ones, but they don't really have one that you're like, oh, I need to use that every time. This is the only detachment that has a sticky stratagem, sticky objective. But it's a weird one. You have to fight a unit on an objective, kill it, and then you can sticky. And after you kill it, you can use the strat.
Or you could just take whatever the hell to just intercessors and sticky something.
Right. This one has this is the one that like makes the detachment kind of sing. If you're fighting things that are nearby, this has the 6-inch pile-in or consolidate move.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a unit like a Space Wolves unit, excluding monsters or vehicles in your army that's not been selected to fight this phase, let's say that they go in, they fight a unit, and they kill it. It could then consolidate 6 inches into another unit that's fighting one of your other units and give that unit the benefit on its fight.
That's pretty good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So normally they might not be able to consolidate a 3-inch to give the benefit, but because they can do that 6-inch, boom.
Right.
Now we can get +1 to hit or +1 to wound if we've achieved our Saga.
Right. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good. That's probably one of the best in this detachment, I would think.
You probably actually want the sticky strat because you might not be taking intercessors or whatever, just so you can afford to take more of your Space Wolf units.
Right. Yeah, you want as many bodies as possible,
and
or
preferably
pair things
your
up.
Codex bodies that will benefit from the army rule or the detachment rule.
And this goes back to the keyword soup shenanigans. This detachment rule specifically calls out the ability being enabled for Space Wolves models. So if you had intercessors, 10-man intercessors that outnumber, they don't get the rule.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking they added the sticky thing to this. That way if you're trying to run a horde and you want to be able to sticky things, because you're not going to be able to run a horde as good as actual horde armies. So you're not going to have as many units, but you can't afford to take those intercessors. Probably they're going to be too expensive.
The other two stratagems I'll point out are there's a fallback shoot and charge that allows you to kind of get where you need to try to combo your units together, or just the flexibility of being able to fall back and charge. And then the other one is for a Space Wolves infantry or Space Wolves beast unit. When they are selected to move or declare a charge, they can move through. They can move through models. And when doing so, it can move through engagement range of enemy models, but unless it's making a charge move, it cannot end its move with an engagement. So basically, you're screening me with grots. I can run through the grots into whatever I'm trying to charge.
Yeah, I like the theme of this detachment. I think it's cool. It's kind of what I picture Space Wolves being, just like a bunch of drunk grunts that are like, oh yeah, let's get into a battle. Let's go hunting.
Or like the pack hunter, like we're all trying to swarm our enemy and like,
hey guys, do you want to go hunting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get drunk and do some hunting.
That's exactly right. It's cool. It's a thematic army rule, but I don't think it's very strong because it takes.
It's thematic. I think it would be cool to see you run it, but I can understand why you wouldn't, because you'll have to buy a ton of minis and paint a bunch of minis. But cool theme.
If you like Blood Claws, that's the one that you run, I think.
All right, what's next?
The next one is Saga of the Bold. This is what they claimed, or what was kind of hinted at, was the like quote unquote index detachment, but it's not really. This is your character detachment. So I'll read the rule here. So each time an Adeptus Astartes unit, specifically Adeptus Astartes, not Space Wolves, each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is selected to shoot or fight, apply one of the following when resolving those attacks. If your saga is completed, you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, and 1 damage roll. Otherwise, if that unit is a Space Wolves character unit, you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, or 1 damage roll. So at the beginning of the game, Space Wolves character units get the benefit, but they can reroll 1 hit roll, or wound roll, or damage roll. Not all. But once it's completed, your whole army, Adeptus Astartes units, can reroll 1 hit roll and 1 wound roll and 1 damage roll.
It's all right.
Does that make sense?
I guess.
It makes your attacks consistent. That's basically what that does. So for the saga, to complete it, so each time a Space Wolves character unit from your army does one of the following, that unit achieves the boast. Once 3 or more different boasts have been achieved by units from your army, your saga is completed. So one of them is that unit destroys your Oath of Moment target. And then the next one is that unit destroys your Oath of Moment target, and that is the second Oath of Moment target destroyed by that unit in this battle. The next one, at the end of either player's turn, that unit is wholly within your opponent's deployment zone. And the last one, hold the line from the second battle round onwards. At the end of your command phase, that unit is within range of an objective marker you control that is not within your deployment zone. So, in layman terms, you have one unit that destroys an Oath of Moment target, then that same unit destroys a second one. You can complete this by destroying a character, a unit that is led by a character, because the Oath of Moment would go. If you kill that unit that it was leading, the bodyguard, the Oath of Moment would go to the character. I think it's like the persisting rule or whatever. And then if you kill the character in that same combat, you'd kill both of them. That'd be 2 units. You'd complete both of those boasts. So that's like one of the easy ways to do that. And then the other one, if you get a unit that's wholly within your opponent's deployment zone, this is where Logan really shines. You can get things in your opponent's deployment zone on the second turn pretty easily. And then the last one, you just have to control the midfield, one of the midfield objectives.
So
that's it.
I feel like your detachment rule is way worse than the index, but you have the boasts, which are, that is kind of ripped off of the index, where you have to achieve different things at different parts of the battlefield.
Yes, that is definitely it.
I'm not super excited by that detachment. I don't know. I kind of wish. I mean, you'll have to tell me about the enhancements and like some of the enhancements and stratagems that you think they're trying to make you use. But so far, I think I like the last one better.
Yeah. So this one shines with the stratagems and enhancements.
Okay.
So the 2 of the enhancements can boost a character model's weapons. One makes them, it's called Horde Slayer. What do you think it does? And then the other one,
hordes.
Yeah. And then the other one, and then the other one does the opposite. It hits things harder.
Okay.
It's
basically it called Harder Slayer, or
yeah, the hardest Slayer. It's called Braggart Steel.
Nice.
The one of the abilities is called Skjald. It basically gives you Bjorn's ability to generate CP on a character unit if you complete a boast. Every time you complete a boast, you get a CP.
An enhancement or a strat?
That's an enhancement.
Okay.
If you have Bjorn, it doesn't matter, because Bjorn, once you generate the 1 CP, you can't generate another CP. But if you don't want to take Bjorn, you take this.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because this is a CP heavy detachment.
Well, you save some money on not having to take a named character, so you put it on a generic, and yeah, that's good.
I think that's why they did it. They knew that you would need a ton of CP, and they didn't want you to be forced into taking Bjorn. The last enhancement that I do want to mention, and this is one that I feel like all the enhancements and strats are relevant, unfortunately, This one is insane. This one, just picture the lieutenant with combi weapon when I'm reading this.
All right.
Adeptus Astartes model only. The first time the bearer is destroyed, remove it from play. Then at the end of the phase, roll 1d6. On a 2+, set the bearer back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed, and not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, with 3 wounds remaining.
How many points is this enhancement? That's what I want to know. Because it better be a lot.
Let me tell you how many it is.
Is it 10 points? Because I would not be surprised.
It's 25 points.
What? That's stupid. That's so cheap. I would take it every time. If I could fit it, obviously.
Yeah, that one's really strong. With the lieutenant, you could basically take your lieutenant, stick him in the center of the board to do area denial.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to put you have to get to the center of the board, and your opponent goes, "Oh, I need to go and shoot him," and then you're like, "But I have this," and they go, "Well, it's not worth it."
Well, just
because if they expose anything, he just gets up.
Just think like my enhancement for tactical brigade that allows me to use a leader on the flash gets that also gives them rerolls. That's pretty good. That's pretty good with sustain. But anyways, to make an orc have the ability to lead that unit and then give them that ability where they can reroll their hit roll, that's 45 points.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
yeah,
25 points to just revive something.
Or even funnier. Okay, let's imagine you take Logan, and let's imagine you take the 65-point worthless Wolfguard battle leader,
mm-hmm.
and you just take him by himself, and then you put him in reserves, and you give him this enhancement, and then on the turn 2, because Logan says you can come in 1 round earlier, you put him in your opponent's deployment zone as a 1 model because they can't screen out every single inch of their deployment zone.
Yeah. Let him get murdered.
And he gets shot, and then at the end of the phase, he stands up and he completes your Saga anyway.
For 65 points plus.
For 65, 25. Yeah, for 90 points, you complete that Saga every single game.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's crazy. That enhancement's insane. You take it if you can, basically.
That is a combo that needs nerfed then. Like, should say like he has to be leading a unit or something.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Think about putting this on
a captain in Gravis armor. He does half damage. He has the half damage ability built in, the captain in Gravis armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you kill him, he stands up with 3 wounds. That means 6 wounds.
Yeah.
Because it's half damage.
And he's really annoying to kill anyways.
He's T6 by default. Good luck. Like, kill him again, you know. Mm-hmm. It's really strong. It's a really, really strong ability.
Yeah, I forgot that this detachment was not limited to Space Wolf keyword too.
Yeah.
That's that's gonna get hit. Sorry.
It will.
It deserves
so it does. That ability, the lieutenant with combi weapon ability, like to go and complete some objective or whatever, like it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
We'll go into the strats. So it's got all of the strats, basically every single one of the strats targets a Space Wolves or Adeptus Astartes character unit. So this is the character heavy detachment. You want to run characters leading units because then you can target them with your strats.
Mm-hmm.
The one strat turns your units into characters. Specifically Wolfguard head takers or Wolfguard terminators. So the first one, Adeptus Astartes character unit in the fight phase, you give them lethal hits. That's 1 CP. That's really good. That's kind of where the old detachment from the index is showing in this. You get lethal hits, on your Wolfguard battle leader who's leading Wolfguard head takers who already have sustained hits 1, then you give them lethal hits also. So
it's good.
It's really strong.
Yeah.
That makes everything hit up. Your blood claws that have 1 billion chainsword attacks, now they have lethal hits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now your tank is dead. Like that's how that, that's it's really good.
Oh, these blood claws won't hurt me. Yeah, they will.
Yeah. Oath of Moment, lethal hits. Oh, now it's dead.
Yeah.
The next one, shooting phase or fight phase, Space Wolves character unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. It's Oath of Moment on another thing for 1 unit.
That's good.
For 1 CP. So it's 1 CP for your Space Wolves character. So like, again, let's say I put an Oath of Moment target on like a tank so that my tank could shoot it really hard, because this detachment likes tanks that have quality shots because they can do the rerolls once the saga's been completed. So it likes like predators and that sort of thing. Let's say you Oath of Moment a Dorn like I have in the past, and you shoot it to kill it, and you're like, yeah, I killed it, and then you have your blood claws charge something. Well, then you use this champion's guidance on your blood claws that are led by Ragnar to give them reroll hits. And then because their blood claws led by Ragnar, they get reroll wounds. Like you're starting to see the combos here. It's in the stratagems. It's not the rule itself. The next one, I said it already. Head takers and Terminator, you can turn them into characters for basically the turn. So like if you need something to complete a saga, but it's not led by a character, you can turn it into a character. 1 CP. That one's fine. You can also Adeptus Astartes character, specifically your charge phase. Your unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. So this is the only detachment that has advance and charge. This is especially good with like a Judiciar and Blade Guard veterans that don't get the other benefits. And you're like, oh, I'm just gonna have my Judiciar move out and charge. Like it's strong. Yeah, it's really strong. 1 CP for that. This one rules, and it kind of makes. Oh, wait, it's not this one. It's the next one. This one still is pretty good. It's 2 CP, makes it kind of expensive. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy is selected as target. So a Space Wolves character unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of those attacking units' attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is allocated to the model in that unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. That is extremely strong on your 2 wound blade or blood claws. So like if you are getting shot by something that's 2 wounds each, then you say now it's 1 wound each and everything survives a lot easier. It's strong. It's like very strong Armor of Contempt.
Yeah.
Last one. This is a really strong one. 2 CP for this. This is extremely strong. Kind of makes Champions of Fenris an afterthought. End of your opponent's charge phase. Specifically, end of your opponent's charge phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes character unit from your army that is within 6 inches of 1 or more enemy units and would be eligible to declare a charge after 1 or more of those enemy units against one or more of those enemy units if it were your charge phase. Your unit now declares a charge that targets only 1 or more of those enemy units, and you resolve that charge as if it were your charge phase. Note that even if this charge is successful, your unit does not receive any charge bonus this turn. At the end of the charge phase, you can look at the state of the battlefield before the fight starts and say, that thing that's 6 inches away from your unit charges. Oh, and it's a Judiciar. That's really strong.
So get fights first, basically. But with anything else, you don't get the charge bonus, right?
Right. It's like I keep saying the Judiciar because I think the Judiciar with Blade Guard is really good in this detachment.
Well, that's what you want to use it on, is something that has fights first. Get it
exactly.
Interrupt, basically.
And the other thing too is you have this, and you also have Heroic Intervention. So if you need to use heroic intervention during the charge phase, so like when your opponent declares a charge, they complete their charge, you can then charge in as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can do counter charge still at the end of the charge phase.
It's pretty
So
good.
it's you have a lot of threats for like counter charging. Very, very strong. So that's that detachment. I think all the power is in the enhancements and strats.
Yeah, it sounds like something that if you're going against it, you're gonna want stuff that can fight on death.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so it's cool. It's the character detachment. You get a lot of character bonuses. You know, your detachment rules active when there's Space Wolves characters.
It's gonna
So,
kill a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit hard because you get +1 to your hit, and then no, that was
No. This is the one that you get to reroll one to
this
hit.
is the
one to wound,
one with
to
the
damage.
boasts.
Yeah.
And it either applies to characters or everything.
Right.
Okay.
At the beginning of the game, it's just Space Wolves characters, and they get one or like they choose one of those attacks.
See, I feel like Space Marines already hit average, so if you have something that makes them hit more consistently, it just makes them good.
Right. It's not good with like Blood Claws because they have too many attacks to really care about that. But
yeah.
But if you have tanks, this rule is really, really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Bjorn loves it because he has like one shot, like things like that. Really, really love that rule.
Yeah. As far as like outsider looking in, I think I like the last detachment better because it kind of tells you a little bit more of how to play it versus this one is a little bit more. You got to read between the lines to figure out what you're going to take with it.
Yeah, I think for my...
Well, obviously you're going to be like, I'm going to take a bazillion characters.
Right, yes. For list building, I think bold is super fun. Because you're like, ooh, this combo and that strat I use on this, like
yeah, that's
that
true. You got a lot more choices to make.
Yeah, it's super fun in that aspect. Hunter is more straightforward for sure. All right, so we'll go to the last one, and this is the best one. I don't think we're going to get to the Grotmist attachment tonight, so we'll just finish up.
Focus on Codex stuff.
So, Saga the Beastslayer. This one is freaking amazing. Each time an Adeptus Astartes model from your army makes an attack, if that attack targets a character, monster, or vehicle unit, if your saga is completed, that attack has the lethal hits ability. And the way you complete your saga, at the start of the first battle round, your Beastslayer tally is 0, and you determine your Beastslayer target by halving the number of units from your opponent's army that have one or more of the following keywords rounded up. Character, monster, vehicle. Each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army shoots or fights, after all of those attacks have been resolved, add 1 to the Beastslayer tally for each enemy unit with one or more of the following keywords destroyed by those attacks: character, monster, vehicle. Once your Beastslayer tally is equal to or greater than your Beastslayer target, your saga is completed. So if your opponent has 3 characters, monsters, or vehicles units total, you would have to kill 2 of them to complete your saga, then you get lethal hits against everything. This detachment rule doesn't need completed because you get lethal hits against all the things that matter. And then everything that you don't care about having lethal hits against, you don't care. You don't like infantry. I don't need lethal hits against infantry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe mounted units you do, but like vehicles, if I get lethal hits against vehicles by default, that's what I want lethal hits against anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's extremely good.
I think that's one of the most annoying to me if I was playing the detachments, having a saga that I feel like I have to complete to be able to I mean, you don't have to complete any of your sagas, I guess, but there's always like I really need to complete this to make my army run at peak performance, and it kind of telegraphs what you're going to do, and it kind of makes your game stale, especially if there's like a saga you always like to complete with the one that with the 3 boasts or whatever. That can be annoying, but if you have one where you're just like, I don't care about completing the saga, I just want to play the game, that's the detachment for you.
I think the index detachment felt like I have to complete these to get the most out of my detachment. But These ones definitely don't feel like you have to complete your saga to get the benefit, which is nice.
Well, especially with I was gonna say with the index when they gave you one of them out of the gate, that helped.
Right. Yeah, they seemed like they were cooking with what became the Codex initially, but having no benefit up front in the initial version of the Codex, or sorry, initial version of the index was brutal. But yeah, once you got you get to choose one at the beginning, it didn't feel as bad. Like, oh, I need to complete these. But now, like with these, I think the one that probably benefits the most from being completed is the Hunter one because of the +1 to wound.
Yeah.
That is really strong. That is like it turns that detachment from like, oh, it hits consistently to, oh, it hits consistently and it hits really hard when you're actually getting the benefit.
Well, and you're going to be taking, if you're doing a lot of bodies, they're going to have lower strength weapons. And as soon as you give a +1 to wound to those lower strength weapons, they start hitting on 5s. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
with that many hits getting through, this is starting to do some damage.
Right. Yeah. It's very strong.
But
so
let's continue.
Yeah, so enhancements, I won't touch on these too much. There's 3 of them that I'll just briefly touch on. One of them, which is the best one, in my opinion, it's called Wolf Touched. Space Wolves model only. Add 2 to the move characteristic of the bearer. In the declare battle formation step, the bearer can be attached to Wolfen or Wolfen with Storm Shields unit. So you put this on a Wolfguard battle leader, and then you put him on a Wolfen with Storm Shields, and he gives them sustained and reroll 1s naturally. On stuff that's within 6 inches, and then the Wolfen with Storm Shields can then equip their Storm Frag launchers instead of their Death Totem, because their Death Totem lets them reroll 1s to hit. Since the Wolfguard Battle Leader already does that for them, they can then take their ranged weapon, which shoots out to 12 inches. It's not much, but it gives them a little bit more output into like a Horde or something. And then just the sustained on the Thunder Hammers is insane. So Wolf Touched is really, really strong. The next one that I want to say is that there's a redeploy up to 3 Thunderwolf, Cavalry, Wolfen, or Blood Claws units. You can redeploy them. That's fine.
I'd try to auto include that if I was building.
The redeploy?
Yeah, I think that's very useful to have.
I've put it on like my lieutenant with combi weapon when I'm running like 2 units of Thunderwolf Cavalry, because I'll put those on the line and then I can redeploy them and say, oh, I actually don't want those on the line. You know, like.
And can you put things into reserves if you want to instead of redeploying? Yeah, I mean that's really good where you can kind of put everything on the board and then be like, you know what, I'm going to put these things into reserves instead. I lied.
So that one's pretty good. And then the last one I want to talk about, in Adeptus Astartes model only, each time an attack made by a character, monster, or vehicle model targets the bearer's unit, reduce the armor pen of that attack by 1. That one's really strong because if it's a vehicle shooting like
it's like cover all the
battle
time.
Leader, it's better than cover. Well, it is cover, but you also would get cover with it. So
yeah,
it's Armor of Contempt built into a character.
Okay.
It's really strong. I think you take this on something that's like leading like Blood Claws or Grey Hunters. Like you could take like Wolf Priest with this on Grey Hunters and have this like utility unit that is gonna bully things on objectives. So it's pretty good. I like that one a lot. The shenanigans from the stratagems in this unit or in this detachment are movement based. Like you kind of saw some of this stuff when we were playing.
Really impressive on a small board.
On a small board, it is very impressive. So one of them is when an enemy ends 9 inches within 9 inches of an Adeptus Astartes unit of yours. You can make a normal move of up to D6 inches, or if it's a Space Wolves infantry unit or a Thunderwolf cavalry unit, it can just move 6 inches instead. Extremely good. Reactive moves are always good. That one rules. And then on top of that, there's another one with Blood Claws or Wolfen. if you shoot them, they can surge move, and they can surge move d6 inches so that they can run towards you. So there's movement shenanigans there, and on a small board,
there's some
they are
caveats with those where one of them they can move into engagement and another one they cannot.
So the reactive move away, like the 6 inches away, they cannot go into engagement, but the
surge
they can. They could run into engagement with you,
which is useful for people if you're playing this detachment. Useful to know.
Yes, I always warn my opponent that I have this.
Yeah, if you're playing Space Wolves and you're using this, you should let your opponent know these things.
It's a gotcha, and always make your gotchas known. It is a really big feels bad if you don't let your opponent know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to go, aha, and then I'm using this strategy.
One of the strongest strats in this detachment is in the fight phase, one Space Wolves unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the wound roll. That's extremely strong. It's very generic. I was playing Bill, friend of the podcast, in King of the Coliseum, and I had things fighting. He had a Sisters of Battle unit. It was the ones with shields, and I don't remember what they were called. But they naturally do -1 to your wound roll, and I was doing this to just negate that rule.
Mm-hmm.
So it was extremely strong. It was basically like, oh, you're doing -1 to wound, oh, +1 to wound, you know. So it's or if you need to hit into a vehicle, you say, oh, now my blood claws are wounding your tank on 5s.
Mm-hmm.
It's strong. You don't need a wolf priest basically because of this strat.
I like the idea of this detachment, though. You just try to take things with high attacks and maybe rerolls on your hits. That way you can maximize your lethal hits and take out big targets, which is really good in 10th edition where there's a lot of vehicles and monsters being taken by every army.
Right. Yeah, with lethal hits, and then you're adding 1 to the wound roll too, like with a lot of attacks, that's really, really, really strong.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other ones is Thunderwolf Cavalry can do kind of like the other detachment. They can run through models. So if you're screening Thunderwolf Cavalry, they can run through them into the things behind them. It's similar. They can move through models on a move or charge.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
That one's good. You also have another one where a Space Wolves unit that is wholly within 9 inches of 1 or more battlefield edges and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, you can remove them from the battlefield and place them into strategic reserves. This is awesome on Terminators for deep strike purposes. If you have Wolfguard Terminators that have come in because of Logan and they finish their job killing a unit and they move to within 9 of the board edge, they can just hop off the board and come back later. Very strong, good for objectives too. Yeah, I think this attachment rules.
Having gone against it once, I think it's really strong. Maybe changes slightly on a larger board, but I still think that the reactive moves that you get, the surge moves that you get, combined with like your base movement speeds that all got increased, makes like movement based strats really, really strong in Space Wolves.
Right. It also, for my particular play style and how I like to build my own lists, I don't like to have a ton of tanks. So I don't like to take like a ton of anti-armor tanks to fill up my points with. So having a detachment rule that lets me take my normal stuff and still punch up into tanks and kill them is like totally my thing. I love that.
You just need to spike on your attacks.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's where the +1 to wound strat comes into. Like you have lethals into tough things, and then you also get the +1 to wound in melee from that one stratagem. Those two things combined
hunting for reroll hits, like combos. That's what I would be going after, probably.
Yeah. I mean, you have Oath, right? You have Oath of
Mhm.
Moment, so you can try to take out one specific unit, and then other than that, you're probably going to be re-rolling ones with like Wolfguard battle leaders and that sort of thing. There's not really much else to re-roll hits.
Okay. Yeah,
But
if I
it's
could
still
build
really strong.
stuff with that, that's what I would go for, or just things with lots of attacks. That sounds really good in this detachment.
Right. It's a fun detachment. It is extremely strong though, so I don't want to run it a ton because I think it'll start to leave a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Because it is extremely strong. So I've been playing around with trying to make other lists as well. I like Saga the Bold a lot, and I need to try Saga the Hunter. There are definitely combos in Saga the Hunter that are making me, as we've been talking today, that are making me interested in trying that, like on an actual 2,000 point game. But like we've been playing King of the Coliseum, and Saga the Beastslayer is like the only one that actually works.
Yeah, I don't
game
think
mode.
I would play that detachment in anything below 2,000 points. I don't think it would be very good.
What, Hunter?
Yeah, I think you're going to need to maximize bodies, maximize Space Wolf bodies too.
Yeah. So that's it. We've actually finally we've made it to the end of the detachments. And I'm sorry we didn't talk about Champions of Fenris. We'll talk about it at a later date.
I'm not sorry. You'll have to tune into another episode.
The only thing I wanted to say is that because the Wolfguard Terminators are good, it makes that detachment a lot better. And then it has a strat to give sustained or lethal on any attack, and I think that's generically very strong.
Boom, episode done.
Hey, there we go. 10 seconds, we're done.
Yeah, publish it. No, I mean this was a lot. I can't imagine like for the fewer model count that you have. Like if we tried to do an orc detachment coverage back when it came out, it would have taken us like 5 hours, 6 hours to do the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. I just, I don't have as many units, but I still have a lot of units, even though it is just Space Wolves,
Well, and you only have the 3 detachments versus orcs with the 6 or whatever, 5 or 6 that came out with. It would have taken us forever to go through it, but I think it's a good the 3 detachments you got are, I don't really see any of the 3 being trash or anything like that. I think maybe people could say Hunters is not going to be super competitive, but I think it's like, I don't think it's trash. It could be good and very thematic at the same time.
Yeah. I don't think any of them are trash, to your point. I think they're all fine to good. And Beastslayer is probably great.
Yeah.
That's where like Gladius and the other detachments come in. They're probably better than Bold and Hunter, but Bold and Hunter are still not like unplayable like maybe Champions of Fenris is.
I mean, that one enhancement you got in Bold is broken.
It's crazy. Yeah.
For the points.
Bold has the craziest enhancements and stratagems for sure. Yeah. So like final thoughts, what do you think of the whole codex? What do you think of my data sheets and all that? Do you think I got off good? Do you think I'm spoiled? Do you think I'm gonna be in pain soon from GW coming down with a nerf hammer?
I don't know. I think you're going to be relatively safe just because your army isn't as it's not played as widespread as like orcs are. So anytime orcs do well, people feel it. Versus, it seems like in competitive, a lot of the Space Wolves players who are good are just like guys who specialize in playing Space Wolves, and they're just really, really good players, anyways.
Right.
And yeah, I don't think they're gonna like destroy your codex because of those few really good players. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I think there's some things in there that I look at it and I go, ooh, that's really good. Like when I look at the stuff I have available in my codex, it looks really good to me, especially for the points.
Like the Wolfguard battle leader.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
he's
great.
better than, well, way better than a war boss, and he's cheaper than a war boss. So, but then, I don't want your army to get slapped across the face like mine did. I'd rather my army just get a little bit of whatever
A boost.
yeah, a little bit of a boost. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like to cheer against other people like this needs to get nerfed into oblivion, but damn, you got some good stuff where I'm like, yeah, that could get abused and that could get nerfed into an oblivion and become
Yeah.
unusable, which honestly, that's when things become unfun, when you're like, oh, you got that cool thing? Take it away from him because my cool thing got taken away last quarter. I'd rather us all
Right.
just have cool things, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, your detachments, I like the Hunter, I like Beastslayer, the bold one. I don't know, I don't like it as much as the index rule, personally.
It's not as good as the index for sure.
It's kind of like lame when the strats and enhancements are what makes a detachment shine, and you're like, what is this detachment? I don't know, but the strats are amazing.
I heard a lot of people talking about and comparing it to an Imperial Knights detachment. I think it might have been the index, or maybe it was one of the other detachment. It must have been the index because theirs is coming out, or it just came out. Anyways, they had a rule to do exactly like that: reroll one hit, reroll one wound, reroll one damage roll. And they're like, yeah, it makes them like so good. That rule alone makes them so good. But I think it's because we're playing with like blood claws and gray hunters and and head takers that have their wolfguard weapons, and I have just so many attacks. I don't benefit from the like one roll
but if you're
every single time.
taking meltaguns and las cannons
Right.
and things like that, it's great.
Yeah, it kind of is the Space Wolf themed tank detachment, which is it's cool, right? I think that's cool. Like Logan can benefit from it because he has quality attacks. Bjorn can benefit from it. Murderfang can benefit from it. Things like that can benefit from it. Tanks can benefit from it. But like Blood Claws and things like that, they don't benefit from it nearly as much. So it's fine. But to your point, and maybe this is positive or negative, like the power being in the enhancements and strats, like you either like that or you hate it because it basically means your detachment rule is nothing.
Yeah, I think some of your characters got needed changes. Maybe some of them got nerfed a little too hard. I don't know, like Murderfang, I wish he was better.
Yeah.
Bjorn, I think, got a nerf that was needed. He was really good, I thought.
He was really tanky.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I think for you, it feels bad for you, but at the same time, it feels less bad for your opponents when you use Bjorn. So it's like, if Bjorn's like one of your favorite models, don't feel bad about. You can't feel bad about taking him now. You're like, he doesn't have half damage anymore. Like, just kill him.
And when he gets in your face, he doesn't make all your strats useless.
Yeah, so he's less like overpowering to the point of people being like, "Can you stop taking Bjorn? He's really annoying."
Yeah, he's oppressive. Yeah.
Ragnar got a slight nerf, which I think is okay. He's so good that it's just like, oh, you're gonna try to make me worse? Nice try.
I actually think he net positive. The only weakness he has is that he can't lead generic space marines.
Yeah, I mean, you used to be able to maybe run him a little cheaper and more versatile, but yeah, he's still really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in your Thunderwolf Cavalry change, which literally did like nothing in my eyes, they're still stupidly underpriced in my eyes.
So for 6, it's 220. For 3, it's 100. So the 6 is a higher cost for total, but I didn't say that right. For 6, they're 110 for 3, but for 3, only it's 100, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about
pay a
that
premium
change in the future. I'm not sure I'm a fan of them changing point
the
cost.
MSU versus full.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that personally, but that's like a subject for another episode.
Yeah, for sure. I just kind of to wrap up my own thoughts on my codex. I love my codex. I feel spoiled by how well I was treated by GW. There's clearly a lot of love that went into this detachment or this codex and all my detachments. Like they clearly understood the task at hand. They didn't just like throw a bunch of hodgepodge random rules, and be like, we'll just split up the sustained in one and lethal in the one, and we'll give them a feel no pain in the other. Like they could have done from the splitting up the index rules. They went in with a lot of clear intent on what they wanted this codex to look like, and it shows. And my data sheet's getting reworked. I got some incredible models. I bought 2 of the army boxes because I liked the models so much. I'm insane.
Well, I think that's good because some of the old models, they're kind of
awful,
dated. Yeah. I was trying to find a nice word.
I'll say it. They sucked.
It might have been good back in 2004 or whatever year they came out.
Yeah. The only one that I think people are like still like, man, I wish we had new models for the Thunderwolf Cavalry, which is understandable because they're still a little dorky looking, but I can't complain. I think my rules are really fun. I think my data sheets are really fun. I really love the new head taker models. They are so cool. The Iron Priest model, the Wolf Priest model, awesome. The Wolf Guard Battle Leader is incredible. The new Logan is incredible. I just, I am a little spoiled. I'm kind of gushing about my codex, but man,
are you a
it.
little disappointed that somebody didn't return?
I still have faith.
Yeah.
Russ will return, and when he does, I'll be like that guy screaming at at my computer.
Yeah. For 7 seconds.
Yeah, I'll pass out.
All right.
I still have faith. I think, predictions here when we don't know anything. I do think that he's going to show up at the end of 10th edition event. I think he's going to show up, and I think he's going to show up with Kaldor Drago because he's not in the Grey Knights Grey Knights Codex. I think they're going to kind of show up together from the warp at in the.
You think
the
maybe
event.
start of 11th? Maybe does he have a vendetta with orcs or something?
Probably.
Probably has a vendetta with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably that too. I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and he fought the lion for some dumb reason.
Yeah.
They had a rivalry, I guess, back in lore. But anyways,
okay.
I look forward to. I really hope that we do get Russ. That would be so freaking cool. Oh, that reminds me. One of the detachments. This is why everybody thinks Russ is going to come back. In one of the detachments for Saga of the, is it Hunter? Yeah, Hunter. Envelop and ensnare. So it's during the fight phase. One Space Wolves unit, excluding monsters and vehicles from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. We don't have any monsters.
Except Lehman Russ.
If Lehman Russ comes back, he would be a monster because all the Primarchs are monsters.
They're thinking ahead. They're just teasing.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
They're just teasing, and then 11th edition will come out, and he won't have returned, and I'll be sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love my codex. I'm glad that we could do this episode. It's been a long time since Adepticon. The hype was so real at Adepticon. I'm so happy to have my codex finally. It's been a long time waiting with that index.
Yeah, a lot has happened since then in the game, and you went from not having a codex to it getting announced, and now it's out and you're playing with your new codex and have new models. So it's been an exciting summer.
It has. I got to do a ton of painting. That's the only bad thing.
I still have a ton of painting to do too, but that's because I chose orcs.
Yeah, I got 2 army boxes from the new Space Wolves release, and then I got 2 boxes of Wolfguard Terminators, Logan, Arjak, and Niall.
I
So
know your pain.
I have so many models.
Yeah.
So much painting ahead. Anywho, this was a good episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode. It's good to be back, and hopefully we'll be a little bit more regular and won't go on such a long break like we did this time. But sometimes life stuff comes up, and we're not like professionals at this or anything. We got day jobs, so we'll do this a little more regularly if we can. And it was good to be back and be with you all for another episode.
Yeah, in the future, hopefully we're a little more succinct on our episode length as well.
I mean, this was a Codex review, so like,
true,
it's forgivable.
And maybe in an upcoming episode, we'll kind of talk about this little hiatus that we took.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was good. If you're still listening at this point and you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, all those YouTube fun things.
Pleasantries.
Yeah. But it was good talking to you all again, and we hope you join us next time.
And if you haven't joined already, we have a Discord. Remember, we have a Discord. It's in the description. Please go and join it. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you all later.
Later, guys.